She's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all it provides us and what we hope it gives you. We are excited to come to you today because we are now choosing the winner of our giveaway. Yes. And we are super excited for this giveaway. It was rather random, and we recognize that not everyone was able to participate. We had a very small number of actual participants in it this time.
But I think it was because it was a shorter time frame.
Yeah, like we didn't really psych it up the same way, and it was just because we really want to just kind of have these out in random. We don't really want to just have them, like, our annual anniversary for the channel will be something that we always every year psych up.
Yeah, draw out a little bit.
Draw out, you know, because we'll have to have made our contributing themed gift, and then we will, you know, move forward. Right. But with these, we really just kind of want it to be a Spitfire. Yeah. So whoever gets it, gets it. But it's all good. We hope that whoever the winner is today enjoys it. Yes. And we will be sharing some of the other winners' favorite things that was part of the answer to be a part of this. So they had some really interesting ideas. So
right.
Mom, is there anything that you want to share before we get into it today?
I'm only in the middle of my blanket that I'm using homespun yarn, 5 different ones. I'm on my 5th one right now, and it's only halfway done, so I'm gonna have to go get some more. I'm pairing it with white, and it is turning out really nice and really heavy. And but I'm not ready to share it yet. So I think that it should be mostly done, if not done, next week. It's a little harder to work with homespun, but I am enjoying it. I love the color combinations, and I think that's just where I'm at right now. We've got a lot of things that we've got to talk about today, so I'll just let you first talk about the little guy here.
Okay, so I received an order randomly last week to make a little, like, miniature amigurumi garden gnome, very specifically spring inspired, and I have the opportunity of being able to share it before I give it to my customer. So luckily I was able to share it today because the customer ordered it for a very specific gift, and so that's not up yet. I kind of got this done rather quickly.
Yes. But fun,
yeah. So I was looking up different ideas for this gnome, and the customer also had some inspo photos, and I was able to I did this pattern on my own. So this was not a preconceived pattern, but most patterns are going to be similar to mine. I will just share it with you, the basis of what I did and how I have managed to get it to sit on its own.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Isn't he cute? I love it.
So the customer specifically said they wanted the hat to be pink, the body to be made of this yarn. So this variegated. So very specifically, she already gave me the yarn she wanted me to use. The only things I had to get was the weight inside it to keep it stable, so that when it was placed on the shelf that it's supposed to have a home for the person it's being given to, it would stay. I had to get a wooden bead for the nose, and these flowers. So these flowers, I actually have the package. You know what? Give me a second. I'll be able to actually share with you.
I think the flowers just really match the yarn very well too. Just so cute. She's getting some stuff out that she bought.
So this is the rest of the flowers that I did not use on the gnome. And it was Offray, O-F-F-R-Y.
R-A-Y.
R-A-Y. These are like they're plastic flowers, like really thick, hard plastic, with little styrofoam adhesives. And the customer said that she really liked these because she felt it matched the body's color theme, ombre theme. And I was like, I agree, obviously. And just these random wooden beads. Now they were kind of like doweled beads, which meant that the hole was only on one side and it didn't make it all the way through the bead. It wasn't like a through bead.
That makes it easy.
And they were supposed to be deliberate dowels that you added to accent like frames or something. So it wasn't meant to have all the way through like a button. So the way that I attached these, I got both of these at Walmart, by the way, in the craft section. I got some E6000 glue, and that worked really well on the nose. Like, it's not coming off. But the flowers, you can see they're a little jiggly. I think that what it is the E6000 glue did not work very well on the foam backing. It had the original adhesive on it.
Right.
And I feel like if I peeled that off and just attached the plastic with that glue to the fabric, it would have been fine because it obviously did fine with the wood.
Right.
But there was nothing interfering. There was no level changes.
Yes.
And so now there's like this wiggle going on still. And I'm considering still changing that before the customer gets it. I have a little bit more time. But they're still working, they're still on, and the glue dries clear, so it's not like you're gonna see anything if I have to redo it. But I just placed them at random because this gnome's theme was deliberately to be spring. So most gnomes, if you've seen them, normally have some sort of activity. Or theme to them. Most gnomes have a hat that covers the eyes with just a protruding nose and a long beard or a long hair and a pigtails or braid if it's a female. Sometimes they don't have arms. They generally never have feet.
Right.
And if they have an arm, they're normally holding maybe a garden, a rake, or something to indicate what they're meant for. Or if they don't have arms, it's on the hat. It normally is shown on the hat. Like, it's kind of like a cutie mark or something from like ponies or something. But yeah, I pretty much, for the design, I kind of generalized the shape of this being kind of like a pear shape, this foundation. So I just did a magic circle, did 6 single crochets into the magic circle, and I increased until it was like 48 stitches. And then I went up for like 10 rows, and then remembering where the decreases would be equally spaced out by the 6 increase that I had, I started to decrease on that row, went up like 3 rows, decreased on that row, then only went up 2 rows, and then decreased, then went up 1, and then decreased incredibly tightly at the top, which caused this gradual shape. Right. I got a Ziploc bag with rice in it, packed it at the bottom before I stuffed the rest of it with just normal stuffer. I made the hat just by started at the top at this tip because it was like a cone, and I did a magic circle with 6. I did just those 6 for several rows before I started to gradually increase. So it was like I increased 1, did like 2 rows, increased again, did 2 rows, increased again, did 2 rows, until I finally made it to where I was very happy with its size, where if I had actually just did it, it would have sat on its head. Yeah. I knew that, but then I needed space to be able to have the decoration. So once I got to that point, I just literally went down several rows at that exact amount of stitches. And then right at the end, I just increased like crazy to create this little bit of a curve.
That's so cute.
And that made like this cone.
Yeah.
I forced this tip to lay down by sewing that to the tip, allowing this to puff out. I stuffed it, sewed it to the body, got these on. I already had forcefully crocheted a white row. So when you have I don't know how many of you have made these, but if you already have a pre-done single crochet, double crochet, crocheting on top of a already crocheted pattern, where you're creating a row on the top, like on the already done material, not on an actual row, like not on any V's. You're actually doing it, cutting into a row, like you go in.
Yeah.
And then you're picking up from the string at the back.
Right.
And you're crocheting on top, so you're making a forced row on top of the material. I did that right here. I placed the nose to see how much of a curve I would need, took the nose off, forced that, and then I just cut yarn to a certain row, and I just did the pull through.
Oh, that's so
See that?
cool, yeah.
To the stitches that I created, and I did like 3 of them in each row, and because they were curved, it naturally curved out the beard. I did a little trim.
You even had to trim it. Like it's real hair. So cool. I love it.
Some of the designs were that you used very specific. So I used cotton, forgetting that what I needed to make this look like real hair was wool. Yeah. If you get wool yarn, you can fray it like this, where it's fringe.
Right.
Take a animal wire hairbrush.
Right.
And start working at it, starting at the bottom and working out your way up, and it splits the fibers and make it go back into like a full layer of wool.
Like the wool, yeah.
And it will look like fur or actual puff's hair.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it would make it look realistic, but I'd forgotten that the full fiber that I needed was a wool, not a cotton.
But I think this cotton beard looks really neat.
It looks fine, but that was an intention. And I was thinking about the wool hair yarn that you had given me probably would have worked as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't. It's okay. It's okay. So, I don't know if I explained it well. I probably could do some tutorials on basics to learning amigurumi, like shaping or things that would be helpful to know if you're wanting to learn.
If you want any of this information, please comment in the comment section and let us know.
Mm-hmm. I made this within like 2-3 days. This was like a really quick project for me, and I was really heavily inspired and excited by this project. And so I already got another order for another gnome, and I'm excited to do that. This one is a little bit more themed to something that our audience would enjoy, but I'm going to save it for later when I'm done and completed, and we'll show it off again. So that one is now, once I figure out how to do the buttons and make sure that they actually stay, that one will be going to its forever home.
Right.
I got an order by my mom to replicate one of the giveaway things for her, which was, one of the giveaways is that I made what is called a chapstick keychain holder. My mom really liked this and asked me to duplicate one for her, and she gave me an order, and I have a lot of doily yarn, which is what I used for that. You don't have to use doily yarn for that, but I thought it looks
so nice.
And she chose this color, so I'll be starting on that today. So that's just more of where I'm at with my projects, because the rest of my projects are not fully done like hers, and I didn't want a million things to show off today. That wasn't going to make any sense to you guys. But we will show off again everything that is getting given in this giveaway, because we added a couple of things like we said we might do, and then we'll draw our winner. So the theme for this giveaway was to give you practical things on top of it with an impractical thing.
And starting with
the practical
being the canvas bag that zips. And so you will be getting this.
And this is one of our most standard items of something that we've shared with you guys before as a project bag that both of us use.
Yes.
In different ways. Like she uses it more for having it for
my
her
notions.
Yeah. Yep. Whereas I, because of all the miniature stuff I make, can actually be a full project bag.
Yes.
And without it being a cinchable bag, where a lot of project bags are, you get the full volume with the zipper of what the bag can actually hold. And it's a rather nice, concise size.
Yes, very nice.
Not just a big bag, but like you can actually have several of these little bags in a bigger project bag and have everything organized. And it's like really nice.
Yeah.
I then made I put the fringe on it thinking that this would look like it was intentional, and now I know that it really looks weird. Kind of like
it's fun.
It's fine. I know it's fine. I hope to anybody that gets this, they like it. But I don't know. I just randomly was inspired to do this. But it's supposed to be like either a coin purse or a little notion bag of you can put anything in here. I would highly suggest that if you have earbuds, this fits in there very well. You can put little items in it, like we could put beads in there. If you have buttons or anything that you don't necessarily want it to be a container where you have to constantly open and shut it, but you can just pinch your fingers inside, grab one, and then just go with it. Or it could even be a coin purse. It has these tallies, so it's not like it's going to be lost in your bag.
Right.
But there are practical things that you can make in crochet.
Yeah.
That are very nice, and this is one of them that I have learned to do. On top of this, which is again the chapstick holder. Thank you. And it has a nice little claw hook that will work for most keychains, and it's just some embroidered doily thread that I use, and you can, this is a brand new thing of Burt's Bees, not been opened, you can see right there, and you can just pull it down, open it, use it, put it back in if you want, you can take it out and whatever anyway, but it's we hope that it blesses whoever it goes to. Again, another reasonable gift.
Yeah.
And then we have the theme of this gift, which is your box of popcorn that I made for the heck of it. So one of you gets it because one of you needs it.
Yeah.
You need it in your life.
It's fun.
And we hope that you enjoy the buttered and non-buttered popcorn, and that it just makes you smile, because that's all any sort of amigurumi gift is supposed to do. It's just supposed to make you smile. And I had a lot of fun just making this for the heck of it. And I hope that you enjoy that. And because I didn't want to show you something that would make you hungry, we're adding in a nice microwavable thing of normal, just microwave popcorn. Hope that is something you will enjoy.
And for my end of it, because I love words so much, I am including a scripture card, and we went over that scripture last week, and then we're also going to send you a card, a friend's card,
That we both have written
that we
something.
both wrote in for you, a message for you. So
We hope it blesses you.
yeah. So I got to pick the name last time, so I'm thinking that Sarah should be able to pick the name this time. So, and we're just.
I don't want to see anything.
No. We're just gonna pick a name and name it off.
Crystal. It just says Crystal, and who is obviously one of our followers, and her favorite popcorn is caramel.
Oh yeah.
A nice candy popcorn. Honestly, yes. I get really inspired by this, and it's rather quite fun because I actually have done that myself, where it's like I forget about all the different types of popcorn you can
Right.
have. I went to a wedding reception. Like, what they had for the wedding reception
Oh,
was
yeah.
a do-it-yourself popcorn bag, and they had every single type of popcorn possible there.
Right.
Every single time. And it was like, you could get savory, sweet, candied, plain. You could butter it in a butter machine and then add whatever flavoring you wanted on top of it.
Right.
Non-salted, salted, sweetened, non-sweet. And like, it was insane. It was amazing. I was super excited about it.
Well, Crystal, we just made out the card for you. So it's awesome. We've got it all written out for you already.
So we ask that if you see this episode,
please see this episode.
in the description, we are asking you that you will go to our email. That is
Yes.
our YouTube email, and you send us
Your address.
Your address, so that we can ship this to you. If there is another way you would prefer to do that, you could even include that in the email. If you would prefer to just give us like a Instagram handle or something where we're able to get in contact with you, please let us know so that we're able to get the right information, be able to confirm who you are, and be able to make sure that this is going to you.
Yes.
So we're giving that over to you, and
since you didn't give us your last name, all we know is that it's Crystal, and you love caramel, and you did answer the question, so you should know who you are. And we're so excited that you won.
yes, it's amazing. And to look at some of the other people, Amaritza C wrote that she liked buttered and caramel popcorn with peanuts.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting combination.
Well, I don't know if it's combinations. This one is she likes buttered
and
then,
caramel with peanut
Right.
popcorn. Okay.
The next
Yeah.
one is the mix.
Okay. And Vanita Sina?
I'm not sure. Amvita?
Amvita Sina writes that her favorite popcorn is a mix of buttered with caramel coated popcorn, and she feels that it tastes like manna from heaven. That's awesome.
I love that answer.
Oh
And
my
I expressed that in the comments when she gave that, and it was like, oh, yes, that sounds so good.
It does really sound really, really good. I really hope that we're saying your name right. We mean no ill intentions if we said any of these names wrong.
Right.
But again, like our the difference from our last giveaway, where we had like a lot of people, it's just because we recognize that we did this on the spur of the moment. It's all good. Only 3 of you guys answered, and we are excited that you answered and participated, and that it was able to go somewhere where someone wanted to get it.
Yeah.
And honestly, that caramel with peanuts might be something Dad would like.
Yeah. Sounds like
I wonder if you could make like chocolate peanut butter popcorn.
oh, I don't know. Sounds good though.
By the way, before we go move on, there is a type of popcorn chip now. It's called popcorners. You can get them at major like stores. Like for us, it'd be Walmart or Meijer. Most places probably don't have a Meijer, but maybe a Costco or something. But like, it's these triangle popcorn kernels that are formed where that when they pop, they are in this the shape of a chip, and they taste like popcorn.
Wow.
But they're in chip form. They're so good. Like, I've been so addicted to those. I didn't even think about that, but like, yes. Non-sponsored.
Yeah.
Call me. I love that stuff.
Our scripture verse for the week is, excuse me, do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. And that's found in Deuteronomy 6, verse 18 in the New Living Translation. I love that. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. I just feel like that's a good verse to have on a day that we're giving away something really special that we both participated in and that three of you answered for. Is we just wanted to make sure that we know that it's going well with you because you were participating in this with us, and we wanted to show our appreciation for that. So, and I think God does that too. He likes to make sure that if we're doing what's right in His eyes and everything, that He likes to show His appreciation for that too. You know, by blessing what you're doing. So.
Yeah, no, I like when I think about this sort of stuff, I know that there's a lot of different ways to interpret what's good and right in God's eyes, because a lot of people have their own interpretation of what that is. But I know that if you have a real relationship with the Creator and in any sort of a way that you really spend time with Him, you will know what that is. And it is so rewarding to just know that God, like in some ways it can seem intimidating to know that God sees you in everything that you do, but there's an aspect to it that if you're doing what He's called you to do,
Yeah.
not that it's like a big necessarily like reward, but God doesn't see that and just ignore it. Like it's just not just like well, finally they've gotten something right. It comes in an aspect of like they're showing that they love me.
Right.
Because they have listened. And I was thinking about that the other day, like how simple that is. Like I've been reading this book about empathy and what that actually looks like in a therapeutic sense. And there is this aspect to, it's the practice of listening and listening correctly, because you can listen wrong.
Right.
And like the difference between not trying to insert your narrative or just using all the time that you're spending not listening to try to create what you're about to say next instead of actually listening to what they have to say.
Right.
And choosing to actually let them be able to express their truth so that you can try to understand it as best as possible.
Right.
And there's this aspect to, if we're trying to act like what God is trying to tell us, to be able to do what we want in His name instead of doing what He wants in His name.
Right.
And if we actually understand what He's trying to tell us to do,
Right.
people notice when you actually listen, and so does God.
Yeah.
And God knows when you're just doing something to make yourself happy compared to when you're trying to actually do things.
So do people notice that.
And that's the whole thing, is that if it's something that's built in us, it's because He built it in us because He wants us to be able to do that in our relationship with Him.
Yes.
And we won't realize how complicated that can be.
Yeah.
Just because of the society we grow up in, that's such a fast-paced society that doesn't take the time to slow down and be self-aware, but like that's something that God actually wants us to do.
Yeah.
He wants us to be able to notice and be seen and have healthy relationships and just to do the right thing, and that's good in His sight, so that things just go smoothly. I mean, the aspect of going well with you doesn't even have to be necessarily reward. It's just that you get it. You get it, and you getting it means that you are not going to have such a difficult time understanding because you've taken the time to actually listen.
Right. Yeah.
And it seems so simple, but think about it when your kids, all you've asked them to do is to listen and not just assume that we're trying to act like we know what's best, but that we know from experience.
Right.
That doing that could cause you to get hurt, or doing that could cause you frustration. And to eliminate that would just be to listen to our experience. And some kids choose to do that, and some kids choose to learn the hard way.
Right.
And you're sitting there being like, this would have been avoidable, but at the same time...
Right. Right.
And it would just go well with you.
Yeah.
If you just actually do it.
Right. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. Deuteronomy 6:18 in the New Living Translation.
Real quick question, Mom. Do you feel that when in the Lord's sight. What does that mean? Do you think that means in private? Or do you think that means in all things?
In all things.
Because, and that could be true, because I know that like in the Lord's sight there was an aspect to that being, not only the things that we would be accountable to with other people around, but also the things that we do alone. Because like with like, what was it, Daniel, that was doing fasting and praying despite being told that he wasn't allowed to do that anymore, and still did it. I don't know. There's an aspect to a very specific, like, what does it mean to be specifically in the Lord's sight? You feel that that's in everything?
I think it's everything.
Okay. I'm not saying that that's not true. I just never actually thought about it until now, where it's like,
he's in everything already. So he's watching, he's cheering you on. He's given you the Holy Spirit to help you along the way and give you comfort. And I just think in his eyes, he just wants you to do well so that you prosper and do the things. Doing the things that he wishes you to do is a prospering type of thing.
I have a really good relationship with a pastor that I see very frequently, and actually 2 pastors I see very frequently, and I have conversations about them with theology a lot, and actually one of them just gave me their book on Christian theology.
Right.
There's 2 out there right now that are pretty popular. One is by a Erickson, and one is by a guy called Grudem, and just how there are simple ways that you can process how the Bible impacts you, or how God's word impacts you, and what God might mean when he's saying this, and the arguments of verses that can contradict and what that means. Is it just knowing the right time to do it compared to the wrong time you do it? Because you can do something right one way and do it wrong because it's applied wrong in the other, and it's like, I'm super excited to do this. And so just an update as to, where we are in our journey with Christ. We're always learning. There's never a moment where we know everything, nor are we ever going to act like we know everything. We're just kind of sharing where we're at at any given moment with you guys, and we hope that that's okay, because it's never meant to be like, hey, we know everything.
No.
Like, this is just us sharing.
It's just the process we're going through, and we're hoping that we're helping you along your journey. Yeah,
blessing you guys along the way, because we're just excited, and God gave us this channel and this ability to be able to do this, because not everyone has a camera, and not everyone has the ability to share their passion with the world in a vlog format, or even in any sort of format. And we know that this is not like a given for everybody, and we're really thankful. And that's why we like to do these giveaways, because you guys watching us makes that possible. Like,
if you didn't watch us, we wouldn't even have it.
Exactly. So we really hope that you love our gifts. We are very excited to hear what Crystal thinks of them, and as always, we love you guys.
We're thankful for you guys, and we're just hoping that you
stitch your way
to mental health.